Just want to make you into a KFC commercial.
Try our boneless chicken poppers.
Don't try the chicken wings. They're garbage. They're garbage. Yum.
Who goes to KFC for chicken wings?
Listen, I didn't go to KFC for chicken wings, but I noticed that they had them.
They just bread wings with their breading and fry them.
And they're tiny wings, and they're mostly bread, and all of the bones are broken.
Yeah.
It's like...
Google wants to know my location. Fuck you.
Fuck you, Google.
I don't know
you. We went two different directions, but still kind of the same direction. Hey everybody, it's Tuesday, January the 20th, 2021, and this is the Fourth and Wrong Podcast. I'm your host RJ, and joining me as always is Keith. Say hi, Keith.
Hi, Keith. You didn't fuck it up. Good for you.
Did it twice. So nice I did it twice.
So nice. It's Tuesday.
It is Tuesday.
Don't ask anybody otherwise.
And don't compare the calendar to what day Tuesday actually is.
Yeah, that would lead to some misfortune.
It's weird that we've got a new president on this Tuesday.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's weird how every single thing that happens to us happens on a Tuesday.
It's just, you know,
crazy.
But so it's super convenient.
Absolutely.
Only have to worry about one day.
Yeah. What are you doing next Tuesday? Yes.
Yes. Uh-huh. All of it.
Which next Tuesday?
Yeah, yes. Very much so. What are you doing Tuesday? Everything.
Yeah,
and nothing.
Same thing I do every Tuesday, Pinky.
Yeah, it's an Ouroboros. It's just a Tuesday that eats itself constantly.
I got one of those on my arm.
Hey.
That's Tuesday. My snake is now named Tuesday. Hello, Tuesday.
It's canon now.
Hashtag football happened. Put it on a t-shirt.
Hashtag football happened. Hashtag not a 6-point team. Hashtag let's talk about the Browns.
Yeah. So the Browns played some more playoff football.
Yep. I think they played pretty good playoff football for the most part.
I think it was a pretty decent game. It was at least entertaining.
You did kind of get stung by the bullshit bug.
Yeah, we'll get to that. Started off slow. Couldn't get the running game established, so we're relying on the passing game. Baker was efficient, but nothing flashy. Started to get rolling in the second half with the running game, which helped make it competitive again. Overall performances, I think Nick Chubb should have got more carries, but that's pretty much my same complaint every week.
Yeah, when you've got Nick Chubb, he should have more than 13 touches in a game.
Yep. Kareem Hunt was still a good closer for us in the red zone. Rashad Higgins had himself a day, which is always good to see because, somebody's got to step up. Jarvis Landry was definitely a consistent, just a consistent target, just somebody that can get open for Baker, even if it didn't result in a lot of yards.
Very few, one would argue.
Yeah, David Njoku definitely was trying to earn his check.
Yeah,
he had a couple of really good snags during that game that made me go, okay,
yeah,
all right, Chief.
Going up and getting it on second and long or third and long or whatever it was.
Yep. Donovan Peoples-Jones caught a beautiful ball from Baker, just a perfect over-the-shoulder fade to the sideline, wall in stride to push him out of bounds and get a first down and stop the clock. There was good plays. There was good plays on our side of the ball. Briefly, we'll mention some bullshit. In the second quarter, Rashad Higgins caught a pass and was diving for the pylon, and before he got to the pylon, he was... Excuse you.
Sorry. Gonna not answer that and put that on a different thing. Never mind. That didn't happen, you guys. Definitely not getting phone calls right now.
As he was diving for the pylon, he got hit and fumbled the ball through the end zone. Turnover. Yeah. The problem with that play was, although I already don't like that rule, we know it's a rule. There's no punishment for fumbling the ball out of bounds, but there is punishment for fumbling the ball through the end zone. I don't think it makes any sense. The punishment is too harsh, in my opinion.
That was a large amount of the argument this week is how stupid that rule is.
Yeah,
and if you ask 10 people, 9 people will say this is dumb and we need to change it, and the 10th person will say, well, you got to get punished somehow for diving for a touchdown.
Yeah, I guess you got to be punished for playing the game of football.
Yeah. And if you ask 11 people, that 11th person is Brandon Pern, and he says, as long as you don't have Derek Carr, you're usually fine.
Right. But the problem with that play wasn't necessarily the punishment, because that punishment could have been all avoided if the referees didn't miss a blatant helmet-to-helmet call on that hit.
It was pretty bad.
Yeah, the safety, obviously, it was either safety or a corner, but they obviously dropped their head, led with the crown, and hit Rashad Higgins right in the side of his helmet.
49, I think 49's a linebacker.
I don't know who it was. Dirty Dan is what they call him.
Yeah.
He's not dirty because he plays dirty. That's just, for some reason, that's his nickname. Something about fucking a goat.
I'm sorry. He's a pig. Yes.
Oh, okay, a pig. Gotcha.
Yeah, sorry. He's their free safety.
Gotcha. Yeah, it was obviously a targeting call, or a leading with the head. Easy call. They completely missed it. Rashad Higgins fumbled it through the end zone. Njoku tried to save it, but it was already out of bounds at that point. So, touchback, turnover, lost all of our momentum going into halftime.
Right. At which point it would have been what, like?
It would have been 10-19.
Yeah.
Going into halftime.
And you guys would have been like totally in it still.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So coming out of the half, it was 19-3, and we started playing good football. We were able to get the ball downfield, started handing the ball off to Nick Chubb. Nick Chubb was breaking off some runs. Baker was making some decent throws. We got a passing touchdown and a rushing touchdown in this time frame. We had the opportunity late in the game to win, and we just came up short. Now, to be fair to the Chiefs, in the third quarter, they lost Patrick Mahomes to concussion protocol. Mac Wilson hit him. It was a clean hit.
Mm-hmm.
It was a clean hit, and as he was going to the ground, you see Patrick Mahomes' forehead bounce off the turf, and then he goes into a fencing posture, which is it's a telltale sign for a traumatic head injury for all my medical nerds out there. Fencing posture is when your arms clench out in front of you and your legs kick out in front of you. It's a subconscious defensive posture whenever you have any damage to your brainstem or your brain in general. And you can see it when he hits the ground and rolls. You can see his eyes roll back and this arm clenched and out, his left arm clenched and out, and his left leg out. And then obviously when they tried to stand him up, he stumbled and almost fell back to the ground. It was awful. It looked gruesome. It was a clean hit. It was a football hit.
Wobbledy drop into my grave plot.
Yeah, he just hit the ground awkward. Bounced his brain around a little in his brain box.
And apparently there's no penalty for one of these in the NFL, I guess.
Yeah, there's no, he didn't grab him by the back of the shoulder blade or back of the shoulder pads or anything. So he just
wrapped his bicep around his neck and said, "You're coming with me."
Yeah, wrapped him up, dragged him to the ground, and he went boink.
Yeah.
And it was scary. I don't like seeing good players get hurt. But Patrick Mahomes not being in that game did not affect the outcome.
No.
Because Andy Reid has the biggest balls in the NFL. And he doesn't care who's out there playing quarterback. He's going to call the plays the same way.
Yeah. Anything is possible.
Anything is possible was the hashtag. So they got another possession. There was some back and forth. Chad Henne was able to make some good completions to Tyreek Hill, getting field goal range, stretch the game out to 22-17. It was technically 22-10, and then we scored in the fourth again to make it 22-17, and then we got a stop and got the ball back with about 4 minutes and some change left.
That was the point where you and I were sitting there like,
yeah,
it could happen.
There's 4 minutes left. We're only down by 5 points. This could easily happen.
The prophecy.
The prophecy. And that's why I say Patrick Mahomes not being in this game had nothing to do with the outcome, because it was the defense and Andy Reid's play calling that ultimately won him that game on this particular drive, because they straight up stuffed us. We never even got out of our own side of the field.
Yeah.
Now, rookie head coach Kevin Stefanski on 4th and 7 in the divisional playoff game, close to the 50, punted.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily blame him for the decision. He thought with Chad, I see where his head's at. With Chad Henne being out there, he assumed that his defense would be able to make a play or at least get the stop. We'll get the ball back with 1 or 2 minutes left and then run our 2-minute drill. So
his head should have been back in the basement.
Yeah, I got where his head's at. But I would have, against a team like the Chiefs, I mean, look at the weapons around any quarterback in that team. They're going to push the ball downfield.
Yeah.
And as soon as they got the ball back, we punted. As soon as they got the ball back, they started marching. Tyreek Hill got a good completion. Chad Henne scrambled for towards the end of that
yards.
drive. Yeah, they got pushed back a little bit, and then Chad Henne scrambled for like 13 yards. It ended on a 4th and 1, and then Andy Reid, balls of fucking steel, lines up the offense on 4th and 1. So we're just like, hey, they're just going to try to draw us off sides. You know, hold still, hold your assignment. And then the last second of the play clock, they fucking snap the ball. And then Tyreek Hill swings out to the right, easy completion, 10 yards of space ahead of him, and he just slides down and bounds.
Yep.
On fucking the balls. Because if they would have turned that ball over, that would have gave us the ball back in midfield with like a minute and a half left.
Did you hear the reporter's question to Andy Reid about that play afterwards?
What's that?
He said, when did fourth and 1 become a passing down? And Andy Reid said, I went to BYU. Every down is a passing down.
Yeah, I did see that. Yeah. It's like, do you see this offense? Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce, Sammy Watkins, every down is
all
a
I got to do is
down.
this. And fucking Sammy Watkins is like on ice right now.
Right.
Like they're LaShawn McCoying him, where it's just like, oh yeah, we'll use you later, maybe.
So yeah, I don't think Patrick Mahomes being injured for the last quarter of the game affected the outcome, because like I said, it was the defense. It was Kansas City's defense and Andy Reid's aggression with his play calling on that last drive that kind of buried it for us. We were confident we were going to get the ball back for one more drive, and the Chiefs straight up said no.
Yeah, they just
took it completely out of our hands. We had no timeouts left. There was only like a minute left on the clock. They knelt it out. And the Chiefs are moving on to the AFC Championship to play the Bills.
They out-Brownsed the Browns.
They out-Browns the fucking Browns. But overall, it was a lot more defensive than I thought it would be, considering these are two of the more mediocre defenses in the league. Mm-hmm. The defenses really stepped up. Both defenses came into this going, we're going to limit the big play. Pretty much the strategy that I was talking about last week, when it's like, how do you beat the Chiefs? Limit the big play and make them drive the length of the field. Well, both defenses had the same idea, and I don't think we leaned enough into the running game at the beginning of the game, and especially when we got down into a hole early. Obviously, it's a little harder to run the ball, but like that's our identity. You got to still keep running the ball,
right? And your defense was keeping them relatively honest, where it's like you're not gonna score that. Like they got 2 early touchdowns, but after that, it was field goals.
Yeah, it was, and we got a gift on that turnover, that Rashad Higgins turnover, because it set him up as in a. Or no, not the Rashad Higgins turnover. It was the pick Baker threw. Baker threw a pretty nasty pick. I think if it was any other safety or corner, that ball probably could have been safe, but it was Tyrann Mathieu. He was trying to squeeze it into a tight window, and Tyrann Mathieu just broke on the ball beautifully, made a great play.
Like, the ball set up behind the guy and...
Yeah, just looped around and broke on it. Like, if the ball was a little to the right into the secondary, but it wasn't a bad pass. It's just Tyrann Mathieu made a really good play on a ball that he could get. And that set him up basically in the red zone, and we were able to hold him to 3 there. So, like, it... and then their kicker doinked one for me. I appreciated that. Cody Parkey, better kicker than whoever the fuck that was.
Harrison Butker.
Harrison Butker. But it was a competitive game. There's obviously some things that we needed to improve on. But the way I phrased it at the end of the game, because it was a heartbreaking loss because we had a chance to win that game. And it would have meant a lot in our first time going to the playoffs in 18 years to go to the fucking AFC Championship. Obviously, that's a big deal.
Yeah.
Especially going to play, our sister team in Buffalo. But the way I phrased it to you was I'm disappointed. I was disappointed, but I wasn't upset.
Mm-hmm.
Because the Cleveland Browns had basically already surpassed my expectation for the year. I wanted a winning season and stay competitive in the division. Well, we had a winning season, almost won our division, made it to the playoffs, beat the Steelers in the first round, and hung with the defending Super Bowl champion in the divisional round with several opportunities to win that game.
Mm.
So, overall, I'd say this year was a success, and I love Kevin Stefanski.
Yeah, not a bad rookie coaching year.
That's one of those things. It truly shows how important like good coaching and good scheming can be. Going from literally like we said earlier in the year, like we shored up some pieces on like the offensive line and stuff like that. But as far as our offensive weapons and our major defensive players, not a lot changed personnel-wise. It was front office and coaching. And we went from 6-10 to 11-5, almost,
and into the divisional round.
And then into the divisional round against the defending Super Bowl champions, who, by the way, didn't cover that 10-point fucking margin. Vegas, fuck you.
Put some respect on their name.
Dis-fucking-spectful. The second seed in the NFC got beat by Tom Brady by 10 points. The Browns did not get beat by Kansas City by 10 points. We didn't need you to spot us 10 points. We only need you to spot us 5, evidently.
Evidently.
But like I said, I was disappointed, but I'm not upset. I couldn't be upset. The future looks bright in Cleveland.
Yeah, which is unusual.
Fucking weird. Like if we were 9-7 and we snuck into a wild card division or a wild card spot on like a tiebreaker or a technicality, then I would have been like, oh, okay, it's kind of bunk, But like we, cemented ourselves as a postseason team halfway through the year. We put a large margin in front of us when it came to teams that were competitive. Literally, there's only 2 teams that could have knocked us out of the wild card. That was Miami and Baltimore. And because we already beat the Colts and we already beat the Titans, so we had those tiebreakers.
Right.
So if both Baltimore and Miami made the playoffs, then we would have got knocked out because Baltimore had the tiebreaker on us.
Right. And again, you made it in a division where you had to have at least 11 wins, which is like nuts.
Yeah, it's not. We weren't the 8-8 Bears sneaking in because we won in a bullshit division, or we weren't, the Washington Footballers coming in with a losing record because they, they won tank division. It was the most competitive the AFC North has been in a while. It's the most competitive the AFC has been in general in a while. Like we talked about before.
A lot of good young quarterbacks.
Yeah, like we talked about at the beginning of the playoffs, no team in the AFC made it that had less than 11 wins. So it was literally like a 5-way tie for everything under the Steelers, Chiefs, and Buffalo. So it was the only thing that I wish we improved on a little bit more was that point differential. Still negative point differential to close out the season, but no big deal. Things look bright in Cleveland. I'm gonna go big. I'm gonna hug Kevin Stefanski once COVID's over. I'm gonna drive to Berea and be like, thank you for delivering me a reason to watch Cleveland football again. But now there is expectation.
Yeah, now you got to keep it up.
11-5 in the divisional round is good. So next year needs to be better. So hopefully we don't fall into that trap. But
yeah. Well, you get one lucky break. You don't have to play us.
Oh, next season?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we're not playing the AFC North straight up, and you came in second in your division, we came in first, so our shit doesn't line up.
Yeah.
So
we get a mulligan.
Slightly easier strength of schedule.
Yep, just a little bit. And, down the stretch, we beat teams that we beat, except for the Jets, which has an asterisk, because we didn't have any wide receivers for that game.
Right.
Every team we were supposed to beat, we beat, and we beat.
And that's the thing, when you miss like literally an entire position group and it's like an offensive skill group, you're probably not expected to win that game anymore.
Right. And 5 of our wins were against teams that eventually made it into the playoffs. So it was a fun season to watch. I was not nearly as big of a wreck as I normally am because we were winning.
Ooh. Did you know that QBs drafted number 1 overall are 1-6 against Andy Reid in the postseason?
Fuck Andy Reid. Andy Reid's so good.
Also, you caught Andy Reid after a bye week, and he's like fucking undefeated after a bye week.
Yeah, so. Andy Reid, like, the Chiefs definitely showed their humanity this season, but the Chiefs still the Chiefs. Just like the Browns is the Browns, the Chiefs is the Chiefs.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, and Chase Claypool, I ain't seen no clapping going on. So, Chase Claypool said that we were going to get clapped by the Chiefs, quote unquote.
Well, I'm not going to lie. I thought I was going to lose you in that first quarter when they went up 13-3. There was a small part of me that's like, he's not going to finish this game. Yeah, this might get away from them.
Oh, it was close. It was close. There were several times where it was just like, just for my own sanity and health.
Yeah. Please
just score a touchdown. So like basically at the half, I was talking to myself the whole time. All right, boys, because we were on Discord together. So it was like, all right, boys, settle down, get back into your game plan, run the fucking ball, and then that's what they did. And it proved successful, and it put us in a position to win. We just couldn't get it done. And that's really the bottom line, is like, yes, there was bullshit that happened in this game. It did not define the outcome. It, like, ESPN... Well, when I say that, I mean because we had an opportunity to just flat out win the game, regardless of what happened.
You still had a chance to beat the refs.
Yeah. The ESPN kind of did a stretch a little bit, comparing it to the fumble, like the fumble. And if you're a Cleveland fan, you know what the fumble was. Basically, back in the 80s, in the AFC Championship against the Denver Broncos, we were driving down 5 points, last drive of the game, fumbled it, and then our running back fumbled it on the 1, and Denver recovered, kneeled it out, and won. So ESPN was like, oh, on this day, exactly 20-something years ago, there was another fumble that cost Cleveland a playoff game, and it's like, they are not even remotely close. Cleveland was playing for a Super Bowl berth, and that fumble actually cost them the game.
Dog, I hate to break this to you.
What?
The 80s were 30 years ago.
Oh, God.
Some of the 80s were 40 years ago.
I want to go home now.
Well, too bad. You're already home.
Shit. But yeah, ESPN, shut up. The fumble and that fumble were not the same, okay? Like, the fumble has its own Wikipedia article. Shut up.
Right.
Yeah, it was 1987 AFC Championship game. Fumbled. Ernest Biner fumbled on the 1-yard line. And then the Broncos took an intentional safety.
Oh, so that kind of answers my pre-start question of has anybody ever kneeled it into a safety?
Well, they didn't kneel it because that would have stopped the clock.
You said they took it in the end zone. Yeah, but you said they took it.
Yeah, they ran around in the end zone and chewed clock and then ran out of bounds.
Okay, well, I guess that's a little bit different, but
yeah, kneeling in the end zone is stupid because that immediately stops the clock. And spots them 2 points, and you have to give them the ball back.
They should have just kneeled so I could be right for once.
But yeah, those two events aren't the same. ESPN, shut the fuck up. Also, Chase Claypool, shut the fuck up. Juju Smith-Schuster, shut the fuck up. Go Bills.
Go Bills. Wyatt Teller says, go Bills.
Yep. Yeah, and Wyatt Teller still loves his Bills Mafia. Thank you again for Wyatt Teller. Appreciate you. For giving us arguably the best guard in the league for buttons.
Fucking 5th-round pick.
Yep.
Worst trade since Marshawn.
Yeah, enjoy that 5th-round pick. I hope you get something at least decent out of it.
I wonder. I could look it up if we can.
But because it's 11 and because we went 11-5, it's not going to be a good 5th-round pick. So hate it for you.
Oh, we got a 5th and a 6th.
Okay.
So who did we draft in the 5th and 6th? We drafted. Oh, well, it became. I know the 6th round became Tyler Bass.
That's good
for one. So he got us our kicker with a giant leg.
Hell yeah!
Or he was a 6th round pick. I don't know if he was our 1st or 2nd, but
nice. You know what's really weird? This is something that since we're talking about the draft a little bit. Because of where we lost in the playoffs, the Browns don't pick until the 26th pick in the 1st round. I do not remember the last time we were picking that late where we didn't trade down. Because the last time we picked that late, it was David Njoku. We traded down to that pick.
Mm-hmm.
Weird.
Yeah. Yeah, the Bills are going to be picking 28th or later, depending on how things shake out.
29th or later. The Saints are 28th.
Right. You start counting at 0. Programming math.
Yep.
You got anything else on this game? Any other closing thoughts, I guess, on the Browns season as a whole?
Who
are you drafting next year? What position do you need?
Dude, defense.
Yeah.
Defense.
Get another corner or something?
Yeah, we need to shore up safety.
Well, although what's the deal with Greedy Williams?
He was just injured all year.
Okay.
Yeah. Greedy Williams and Grant Delpit were injured all year. So I hope we go safety or linebacker, or there's no like studs at defensive end. I would like somebody that's a little more long term across from Myles Garrett.
So you're not gonna get that at 26.
Yeah, but we're not going to get anything crazy like that at 26. We can get some value for the defensive line, but I would love to go safety or linebacker. I think Grant Delpit needs a proper strong safety next to him. Carl Joseph played very well. Andrew Zendejo tried his best to get off my bum list.
Denzel but he didn't.
Yeah, but he didn't. Greedy Williams, hopefully he's a good complement for Denzel Ward. Denzel Ward needs to stay healthy. This year, not nearly as much of the normal injury bug because part of his missing games this year was COVID, not an injury. So I definitely think we should heavily invest in defense. I mean, we had the number 3 rushing attack or number 3 rushing offense in the league, and Nick Chubb is still on a rookie contract, and we already extended Kareem Hunt.
Okay. Yeah, that was actually going to be my follow-up question is where do their contracts stand?
Yeah, we extended Kareem at the beginning of this season. We still have the 5th-year option, or we still have 1 more year on Nick Chubb's rookie contract, and we have Baker's 5th-year option or an extension and a lot of cap space.
Well, and I mean, Baker's still only 3 years in, so you've got, all of next year still if you really wanted to sit around and, wait.
Yeah. Yeah. I think Baker's going to get extended sooner rather than later. And then the next person we look at, because Myles Garrett already got paid. Jarvis Landry's already on a big contract. I think Rashad Higgins, after this season, deserves a long-term deal. Considering he took a pay cut, he got better offers from other teams. He took a worse offer. He took a cap-friendly offer for a 1-year deal in Cleveland to come back to Cleveland when he got cut last season. And I think after this year, especially after Odell got injured, Rashad Higgins deserves a legitimate look at a long-term deal, or at least a 3 to 4 year thing. For him filling in the number 2 spot, he finished the season with almost 600 yards and 4 touchdowns. There's definitely chemistry there between him and Baker. That's chemistry.
Sorry, finish up.
That's chemistry that Freddie Kitchens' offense ignored last season. That Kevin Stefanski allowed to flourish when Odell got hurt.
I was going to say, you guys are paying your wide receivers like nothing outside of Jarvis and Odell. I was going to say Peoples-Jones probably deserves an extension or something too, but you've got him signed until 2023 for pennies, basically.
Yeah, well, because he was a late round rookie draft pick. He's on a rookie contract. Rashad Higgins is on almost a minimum deal.
He was a rookie this year.
Yeah. This was Donovan Peoples-Jones' first year. So we got him locked up on a rookie deal. Rashad Higgins played for buttons just to stay in Cleveland. We inherited Odell's New York contract. We extended Jarvis. The offensive line is signed up. We still got a couple. Kareem's extended. We got a couple of years left on Baker and Nick Chubb's thing. So I want to go defense and then start working on extensions for the guys on the offense that need them, starting with Baker. I think this season definitely proved that Baker is worth taking a look at for the long-term option in Cleveland. He finished the season with acceptable numbers. He was top 10 in the league QBR, top 10 in the league for interceptions, 3,500 yards and 26 touchdowns. Counting the postseason, he's the first Cleveland quarterback in years to throw for 30 touchdowns. So I think there's a future in Cleveland, especially with Kevin Stefanski. I think Baker Mayfield is playing with a 2-year handicap, having to play with Hugh Jackson and Freddie Kitchens in the front. But now that we have somebody that obviously knows how he wants to use these personnel, now he can really start developing. We saw the Baker that I expected to see his rookie year, and we kind of got it back with the turnovers cleaned up a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
So
I think you guys have really got to get something out of Odell when he comes back, though. Mm-hmm. Like, he's got to come back healthy and fucking hungry, because you're paying him like $4 million a year more than we're paying Stefan.
Yeah, totally. I 100% agree with that.
And that's like a cheap lineman.
Yeah. Odell's production was certainly good while he was in the rotation, but it wasn't what we're paying him good,
Right.
I think Odell has a future in this team. I don't buy into the rhetoric that Baker is better without Odell. That entire offense got better after the bye.
Mm-hmm.
Because they settled, It just so happened that Odell was injured. Odell was playing fine, It's everything just kind of started settling down around. I think it was correlation, but not necessarily causation. I think Odell Beckham has a lot of gas left in the tank. He's still young. We're paying him a lot of money. He's actually training with Saquon Barkley for rehabbing the knee injury for the torn ACL.
Saquads.
Yep, Saquads. So I 100% agree. Whenever Odell does come back, we need to see, production for the money that we're paying him. Considering outside of kind of the gimmicky gadget plays that we used him on, he was just like an average target for the team. I think part of that was due to how run heavy we were, and part of that was due to just a comfort in the offense. I'm hoping to see bigger things really stretching the field next season. We'll see how Odell does coming off that ACL.
Okay. Well, are we ready to move on?
Let's move on to the gift that the Buffalo Bills provided me.
Oh, the death of Lamar Jackson.
Not that. I don't like watching players get hurt.
Just the beating down of Lamar Jackson.
But
we made him look mad average.
Yeah, I'm not opposed to watching teams beat the Ravens by 14 points every week. Let's do that some more.
Especially when they don't get in the end zone.
Right. Tell me how you held the Baltimore Ravens to only one field goal, RJ.
Well, it helps when they doink too. It helps when arguably the best kicker in NFL football right now misses 2 inside of 50 when he's typically automatic. So thanks for that, Mr. Tucker.
Statistically, Cody Parkey was the best kicker in the postseason so far.
So far, Tyler Bass has got some time. Although I think Bass missed one in this. Yeah, he did towards the end of the first half or end of the first quarter.
Yeah, Cody Parkey was perfect for field goals and extra points in the postseason. No doors.
Hey man, sometimes you got it.
Yep, he turned it on.
Yeah. But no, this. So I originally was calling this game at like 35-30. I expected this to be, a game where both teams scored a lot more because I didn't expect I expected our defense to give up a lot more, but I also expected to be able to drive and convert against the Ravens more. Instead, what we saw was the Bills got off to a slow start again. We ended up, we were never down in this game.
No.
That's my uncle trying to call me to talk about football. Guess what, buddy? I'm busy talking about football.
Yeah. Fuck off, Abuelo. Or no, Tio, Abuelo's grandpa.
There you go. But yeah, it was, I don't know. It's hard to figure out where this game was. We knew that the Ravens were again like one of the hardest defenses we've faced all year. I mean, you got to think about it. The last 3 games, the Bills have gone up against Miami, who at the time was the number 1 scoring defense. Then we went up against Indianapolis, who at that point was the number 1 scoring defense. And then we went up against the Ravens, who were like a top 2 or 3 team all season. And we just keep beating them. Like, we keep finding a way.
Life finds a way.
Life finds a way. But yeah, it was another situation where it's kind of like, I feel like I'm just regurgitating the same narrative the last couple of weeks. The Bills get off to a slow start. They get into the second half. Stephon starts to get loose. We put points up. And we get hot enough to win, and the defense is starting to do something. This week, what the defense did was tie the record for the longest interception return for a touchdown, which was almost kneeled at the beginning of the play. Because this guy right here, Taron Johnson, said, "You laughed at me when I got hit in the face at the combine with a goddamn football during my drills. But guess what? This motherfucker ain't gonna catch me because I'm fast."
Yeah, he real fast.
What helped was this guy setting a block. So thank you, Trey White, for getting out there and sticking with the play, especially when the two of you traded places mid-run so that Trey could get to the inside
and put a block on Lamar.
Yeah, and be that buffer. I think Lamar gave up on that play. Like, I really feel like had he given 100% on that, he could have found some way to cut through, but they got to about the 20-yard line and Lamar just kind of pushes Trey and gives up.
Yeah, I think once Lamar saw Trey on the pursuit, he was like, "There's no way I can maintain speed," because he was running full speed with the ball. He was in full stride at that point. So it's like there's no way he could have maintained full speed and beat the block. So it's just like, all right, take the contact and then let it go. I still find it funny that, and you alluded to it, that gentleman almost kneeled the ball in the end zone after he got the pick for a touchback.
He literally said, "Yeah, I kind of looked down at the ground for a minute and then but out of the corner of my eye, I saw a whole bunch of green. So I said, I'm gonna run with this."
Yeah, let's see what happens.
And there was one guy right at the beginning of that play while he was first coming out of the end zone. It was like a tight end or something who had a shot to grab him and just missed, and he stumbled for a half second, but then he recovered and then that was it. And it's hilarious. I mean, Josh Allen on the sideline is hilarious, especially if you watch the video reaction, because he kind of hears it happens, turns around, and is in complete disbelief, and then just puts his hands up, which is great. Deion Dawkins described it as, "Man, I didn't even know what was going on. We just all looked up, and all you could see was Johnson running down the field." So...
Because the Ravens were in the red zone, so the offense was probably setting up for their next drive.
Lamar's first red zone interception.
Mm-hmm.
Him and Josh had both not thrown a red zone interception up to that point in their career. Mm-hmm. And the Ravens were driving after we scored on a play that was a 3-on-2 play, and they just let us set up. I think it was John Brown and Gabe Davis were the blockers. And Josh just turned and chucked it to Stephon real quick, who just put his head down for 4 yards and drove it into the end zone. Mm-hmm. But then the Ravens turned around, drove all that field, literally right afterwards, and were about to score. And Teron Johnson just said no.
No. And it was a good pick too. It was kind of bad placement by Lamar.
Yeah.
But he made a good break on the ball, and thank God he didn't kneel it. The thing I noticed during the game, kind of to allude towards the low scoring nature of this game, because like you said, I agree with you. I didn't expect it to be this low scoring too. Is the one thing that I thought the Ravens were going to be able to do all over you, they just didn't. Which was run the ball.
Yeah.
They had decent production, but 150 yards rushing is nothing for them.
Right, when they've put up 400 in a game.
Yeah. So the run-first attack was definitely stifled enough to where it kind of forced Lamar to have to start actually having to beat you with his arm. Mm-hmm. And I just don't think they had the horsepower, especially towards the end.
Yeah. Well, and then we run into a situation where late in the game... I kind of noticed this from the very beginning. I don't know if it was the slightly slick conditions or if their center just sucks ass. But it seemed like this dude was missing his hikes to Lamar all game long. They were going off to the side, or they were a little low, or they were kind of up on his shoulder or something. Yeah. Because at the end of the game, it ends up costing them, because the center misses Lamar on the hike. The ball skips back almost exactly reminiscent of your Steelers game. Skips past him, is heading towards the end zone. I'm losing my mind because I'm like, that's another one. That's another one right there. We've done this before. But Lamar scoops the ball, turns around, hucks it, which ends up getting called intentional grounding. Mm-hmm. But Lamar gets nailed by Mario Addison and I think Tremaine Edmonds, and just bounces the back of his head off the turf in the end zone. And that was it for Lamar Jackson that game.
Yep. Once again, clean hit.
Yeah.
I want to emphasize these 2 concussions were concussion protocols, concussion evaluations. They haven't yet to confirm whether or not either of them are concussions. Clean hits.
Yep.
Their head hit the ground, and their brain hit the inside of their skull.
Yeah.
Because that's how concussions work.
Yep.
Yeah. So they had Tyler Huntley out there for the rest of the game, correct?
Yeah. Who almost burned us real hard.
Yeah. Tyler Huntley, kind of one of those guys, deceptively fast. Probably does well in that read option Harbaugh offense just because he's a quick, shifty dude. The other thing I noticed was the amount of pressure you guys were able to get on Lamar, and pressure he couldn't escape. You definitely got up the middle on him, and when you got up the middle on him and shifted him left to right, you sealed the edges.
Yeah, except for the one time that he turned around and was like, oh, look, the entire field's here because I blindly rolled to the outside and just guessed, and everybody went the other way.
Yeah. Well, that's the big thing is anytime, he rolled and saw a gap in the middle and was able to squeak. It's like what we talked about last week. Like Lamar's biggest advantage is when he can find open space in the middle and squeak to the outside. Mm-hmm. But if you push him to the outside and cap those edges, he's not going to... If he spins back to the inside to find a gap, he's going to spin into the pass rush.
Right.
So, and that's what that's pretty much what happened to him. There was like 7 QB hits and 4 sacks. One was to Tyler Huntley, but
I believe the stat was we pressured him on 55% of downs, and that's the most he faced all season.
Yeah, there was not a point in that game where Lamar Jackson was comfortable, which was not what I expected. Not what I expected for your guys' pass rush. That was obviously scheming because you guys were sending pretty much an extra player downhill almost every snap.
And our pass rush has not gotten a ton of pressures this year. I think we were I want to say we were bottom 3rd in sacks, which is not that's not everything. It's the big. Pass rush stat. Yeah. It's the shiny one, but you can still get plenty of pressure on a QB and affect them without getting a sack. But even then, I want to say we were middle of the pack at best.
Yeah, I think the scheming and the performance from your guys' front four plus the auxiliary pass rushers because you guys you send a safety, you'll send a corner, you send fucking Matt Milano came around the corner one time.
And really, it was our front 8 because we would have one set of guys in for first and second downs, and then anytime they gave us the opportunity, we were completely rotating the line on third downs to get fresh rushers against their linemen. So, I mean, our rotation was great.
Mm-hmm. It was definitely the kind of performance you guys needed from your pass rush to keep Lamar Jackson uncomfortable. And not let them play their game because their game feeds directly into what your defense sucks at defending, which is the run.
Yep. But like you were saying earlier, I mean, nobody on their team had decent averages. 4.2 yards is not bad. And they put up some yards, but nobody got loose. Nobody broke anything huge ever. And that was, really a testament to us just getting up on the line and stuffing people, which, I think my commentary during the game was okay, we're still giving up 3, we're still giving up 4, but then they would try and pass the ball and the passing game was just not there. But then, after Lamar went out, Tyler Huntley came in, and he scared me for a second because I was like, oh my God, you just have 2 of this guy. What the fuck? This seems unfair. Where's Robert Griffin III or the white guy? And the answer was no, we got this other dude. And I'm like, fuck, he's fast also and has an arm. And he sailed one on Hollywood Brown that was the freest touchdown I've ever seen in my life if that connects. But it seems like the elements in Buffalo played a major factor because again, Justin Tucker doinks 2 field goals, one to the left, one to the right. He only missed the middle bar. And Josh, on any sort of deep pass kind of looked like first year Josh again, where he was overthrowing everything, but it was probably the wind taking it for the most part.
Yeah.
Because Josh got an arm to drive it through the wind, but as soon as the wind's with him, he's like, oh, fuck.
It just takes it.
Yeah. But yeah, that's kind of how the game went. And now we play the Chiefs. The 1 plays the 2.
How do you feel about that?
Still relatively confident. I mean, here's the thing is we're finally playing a team that has an average defense. And I think the way our defense is playing against their guys, if we can, it's weird. Tyreek Hill is always a threat all the time, no matter what.
Sure.
But I still feel like Travis Kelce's going to be the one that we're going to need to double more.
Matt Milano's going to earn his... Trey Edmonds and Matt Milano are going to earn their check against Kelsey.
Yeah. Because, like, they ran it 30 times against us with Clyde Edwards-Helaire when they beat us.
Yeah.
Guess who they don't have anymore?
Clyde Edwards-Helaire.
That's the one. So... Yeah, but he's like...
He hasn't been scary this year.
Yeah, he hasn't been overly impressive. So I think this is... Like, we wanted to see it when we played the Chargers, and that game didn't really turn out the way we expected it either. That was kind of a middle to low scoring affair. But, I mean, I don't know. Both teams could put up fucking 50 points in this game if they wanted to, I think. Like, this could end up, 56-49 or some stupid-ass score.
Yeah.
It could also end up, 27-20, which is probably more likely. But there was a stat that came out that since week 9, the Chiefs had not had a game where they've beaten the other team by more than 10 points.
Yep.
The Bills have 8 games where they have beaten the other team by more than 10 points.
Yep.
So there's something to say about, like, are the Chiefs not as dominant, or are they championship caliber because they continue to find a way to win regardless?
Mm-hmm.
Like, even if the games are close, they always find a way to win.
Yeah.
So there's a couple schools of thought on that. I'm of the opinion that if they had been playing more dominantly, I would be more concerned. But at this point, at time of recording, Patrick Mahomes is still in the concussion protocol. Now, he may be back and ready, or there may be an independent doctor that says, no, you're not allowed to play.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think that's a huge factor. I think if we're playing Henny, we are fine.
But RJ, anything is possible.
Anything is possible. It's, well, he started with a lead and only had to close it out. So,
well, that's kind of the thing I was going to say. Like, the Chiefs kind of showed both of the scenarios for which you're referring to. One, I don't think they're as dominant as they were last year or the year prior.
Mm-hmm.
But two, it doesn't matter because they just keep finding ways to win. You know,
Right.
we were one helmet-to-helmet call and one good offensive drive away from beating them, and we just didn't. We couldn't get it done. The defense stepped up and did it, and that's been the story all year. Is some part of one person or some unit on that team steps up and makes the game, just finishes the game. I think that's. I'm in the same camp you are. If it's Chad Henne, I think you're going to be okay. If Patrick Mahomes gets back healthy.
That's the other thing. I mean, he might be back in the game and might still be, like, he might pass protocol, but might not be 100% ready.
Yeah,
and then he takes one more good hit, and
yeah. Well, if they think that's a possibility, they'll sit him.
Yeah,
because if the independent neurologist thinks it's a possibility that he's not quite 100, he won't be 100% by game day, he's not going to clear him. Because that's exactly the scenario that this concussion protocol is designed to avoid, is going out there when you're not fully healed and exacerbating the injury.
Right.
Because it's not like, a muscle strain. You can't play through a concussion. You can only make it worse until it's better.
Right.
I wish for a speedy recovery, but it'd be kind of cool if that recovery took a little longer than in the next couple of days. Who knows?
I would still rather... It's the same thing I was saying at the end of this game. Was I would rather have beaten Lamar for 4 quarters.
Yeah,
I'd
rather you beat Patrick Mahomes as well.
I would rather us beat Patrick Mahomes and the real Chiefs and not some facsimile, because that would be a stupid thing. And
no asterisks.
And to quote Kyle Brandt, I'm doing a lot of quotes in this episode. One of 4 things absolutely has to happen at this point. This is jumping a little ahead because we still got 2 games to talk about, at least briefly. But one of 4 things has to happen.
Yeah.
Tom Brady goes to another team and wins the 7th Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers comes through, wins MVP, and wins his 2nd Super Bowl, which finally, propels him into that GOAT discussion. Because it seems like most people's opinion, at least over the last couple of days, because people have been talking about, like, is Phillip Rivers even like a Hall of Famer at this point? Because he hasn't won a single Super Bowl, whereas Eli, like, easily is, even though Rivers' stats are, like, significantly better, you know, over the course of his career. Yeah. But so Aaron Rodgers wins the second one. Kansas City comes through, wins a second Super Bowl in a row, and starts setting up a legitimate dynasty. Or the Bills win a fucking Super Bowl.
Period.
Yeah.
History will be made this year.
Yeah, one of those four things has to happen.
Yeah.
There cannot be none.
Right. The Chiefs can be the first repeat champions since the Patriots. Aaron Rodgers can finally put to bed the best versus greatest conversation. Tom Brady can do Tom Brady shit, and the Bills can just win.
Yeah.
So
Buffalo all the way this time.
Buffalo all the way this time. Making up for decades of sadness.
Yeah.
And making so many tables broken in the meantime.
Not quite a factory of sadness. Oh yeah, so according to Deion Dawkins, people are just like out in the middle of streets breaking tables in Buffalo.
Hell yeah, brother.
You know, just cause. You know what the move I think the Bills should make before the Super Bowl?
What's that?
I think we should sign Mark Ingram.
Yeah, why not?
Because the Ravens just released him. It's like, hey, buddy, you're already under COVID protocol. You want to...
You're kind of cutting into my news a little bit, but yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, it's Bills related. It'd be very funny if we suddenly had Devontae Freeman and Mark Ingram at the very end. You know, yeah. What would you go to Buffalo for? To ring chase.
Yep.
Who's ever said that? Who's ever said that?
He would be the first.
Yeah.
And it would be Mark Ingram. Be like, I came here to win a ring. Big truss. Woo,
bigger
woo.
truss.
Yeah, bigger truss.
Cold
Best
truss.
Believe that.
No. But yeah, I think that would be a hilarious move. It's just like, yeah, we just beat you. Come over here.
Yeah. Come where it's warm and safe, which are not two words associated with Buffalo often.
No. I mean, safe, maybe. Warm, not so much. But yeah, dude, it's I'm sorry your season is over, but for me, I get at least one more game of football.
Hey, we still got more football to watch, dude.
So
we both were playing meaningful football in January, and that's all I really wanted this year. And the fact that the Bills are even in the AFC Championship and they're playing as well as they are, I mean, I can be excited vicariously.
First time in the AFC Championship since '93, baby.
Yeah, especially with how intrinsically tied the destinies of the Bills and the Browns have been over the past 2 decades. Like, there's, it's that common respect and mediocrity that the Bills and Browns have shared over the past 2 years. And for both the teams to really be coming into their own pretty much at the same time and establishing kind of a new era, so to speak, in the AFC together, I'm tickled to death to watch the Bills play in the AFC Championship.
I mean, this last week we kind of forgot to talk about it last week, but we had the 4 quarterbacks left in the AFC were all under the age of 26.
Yeah, Baker being the oldest one
left. Baker being the oldest player left.
Yeah, because he actually did 4 years in college, like a weirdo.
Oh. I think Josh went for a full 4. I don't think he came out his junior year.
Yeah, Baker was also a transfer student, so he had to sit for a year.
That'd do it.
Because he transferred to Oklahoma and then walked on. Walk-on season.
But I think that's about all I've got. Still nothing out of Kenny Stills. Still nothing out of Devontae Freeman, but he wouldn't have been able to play this week anyways.
Yeah.
I'll be interested to see if those guys even see the field at this point. And hopefully, Gabe Davis shows back up again because he had 4 targets and no receptions, which is not a great week.
Yeah.
When you suddenly go from like a 100-yard game to a 0-yard game and Dawson Knox is doing better than you,
it's
That's a problem.
Yeah, I'm gonna need a little something out of you, bud, especially playing the Chiefs.
But it's kind of crazy to look at the team right now and just be like, oh shit, we got weapons, like and a lot of them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the four scariest teams are left.
Yeah.
As far as like pure offensive weapons and decent enough defenses to win a championship. That's, like I said at the top of the segment, the four best teams are playing for championships right now. As far as like the four teams that are designed and ready to win a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
I think if the Browns made it to the AFC Championship against the Bills, honestly, I think the stage would have been too big, especially playing in Buffalo. The Rams basically were falling apart. Lamar, like the Ravens' offense was very one-dimensional. I think these four teams are the four that are the most poised to make the push into the Super Bowl and actually be successful.
Yeah. But before we get to news, let's quickly talk about the two NFC games, which I only vaguely remember watching because, well, actually I slept through one of them because I had to actually be ready for my game, which, hey, thanks for calling me and making sure I didn't miss my playoff game.
You're welcome, friend.
This is literally like 15 minutes into the game, not game time, but like we started at 8:15 and it was 8:30 and I was like, oh, fuck.
Yeah. Because you were sitting in the Discord channel just away. You were idle, and I was like, that motherfucker fell asleep.
Yeah, I sure did.
Yep. So let's do Rams-Packers first.
Hey, that's the one I've got pulled up, so good
call. Cool. The Packers, they're still really good.
Still really good.
Aaron Jones basically did whatever he wanted. Aaron Rodgers, as much as you can say it was a down game, it was a down game for him, all things considered.
Some of my down seasons are some career seasons for other people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, still over 60%, 2 touchdowns, no picks, QBR 92, passer rating of 108. Still not a bad game.
Not a bad game. He threw for 2 Cam Newtons.
Yeah, he threw for 2 whole Cam Newtons. Jared Goff looked like Jared Goff who just got his thumb surgically repaired.
Yeah.
Accurate and efficient, but could not push the ball downfield. Obviously had no zip on the ball, had to rely very heavily on Cam Akers, and that is a recipe for destruction when you're playing a team like the Packers that can pull away so quickly. And that's exactly what they did, because going into the second quarter, it was 3-3, and then Packers put up 16 on them, and they went into the half 29-10.
Yeah.
So, or 19 to
10. Yeah.
19-10. So got out to a 2-score lead, and then all the Packers had to do was just keep chipping away. And when you're playing a team that can pretty much score at will, like the Packers can, you got to be able to push the ball downfield. And old Jared Thumbs just wasn't cutting it.
Who is the Rams' third string or quarterback? Did they just not have?
I don't think they have one activated that they can get through COVID protocol.
Oh, Jesus.
So that's why they had to force Jared Goff back out.
Oh, yeah, they did.
Did they? Oh, was it Blake Bortles?
Could have gone to good old Blake Bortles, who looks like he's wearing a fucking 76ers jersey, or not 76ers, Golden State Warriors jersey in this fucking picture.
Yeah, he's still wearing a Denver jersey in ESPN.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Apparently he's QB 00. I didn't know they let you use that number.
Hey, good for him. 00 Bortles.
Yeah.
Blake Bortles. Blake
has won a playoff game before. Granted, it was 6-3. It was 6-3 against us.
00 trash.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think.
How bad does Blake Bortles have to suck for you to go? No, we'll take the guy without a thumb first.
Yeah. I think that has to be a comfort thing with Sean McVay and Jared Goff. You know.
I mean, probably.
Yeah, because I trust Sean McVay's judgment, but the man's lost a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
He lost probably one of the most boring Super Bowls I've ever watched. But yeah, there's not much to say. The Packers are still scary. They probably could have ran the score up on this one, and they didn't. Aaron Donald was on they claimed Aaron Donald wasn't going to be on a rotation or a snap count. He obviously was. The pass rush was just not getting to Aaron Rodgers. Everything that defense is good at, they just weren't able to do.
The only thing Aaron Donald was on was the juice, because clearly he was getting some roid rage and grabbed the shit out of that. What, did you see that? He just snatched the shit out of one of the Green Bay linemen's helmets and was just like, "Hey, motherfucker. If I got COVID, you do now too."
Social distancing. That's why they need to play in masks. Aaron Donald's ass ruining it for everybody.
And then they threw a flag on him, and he was like, "I do not give a fuck. I'm finishing telling this man what he needs to hear."
Yeah. But total, the Rams their defense got like 4 pressures and like 1 QB hit and no sacks all day. Aaron Rodgers is back there setting up a picnic, making tea, chucking it to his friends. They're playing catch, having a good old time.
Hey Rams, if you're not gonna win, can you give Robert Woods back to Buffalo, please?
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Buffalo should now just slowly reacquire all of the pieces that were good from. It's like, hey, Ronald Darby, come on back from wherever the fuck you are. I think he's in Washington right now. It's like, hey, Robert Woods, come on back, buddy. We could use a number 2 after John Brown gets out of here, because I don't know if we extend John Brown at this point. Beasley maybe, but he's gonna be old by the time his contract's up.
Yeah.
Because I think we've still got him for 2 years. I think we've got John Brown for 1 more year. Like, Stefan is, like, quietly one of our longest signed wide receivers.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Thanks to a very team-friendly deal.
Yeah. Which we're paying him up front on.
Yeah. All right, Bucs Saints?
Yeah, Bucs Saints. The battle of the olds.
Yep. Hey, Drew Brees, do me a solid. Retire.
Yeah.
Please. This game was hard to watch. I like Drew Brees. Hey Saints, who's your best quarterback and why is it Jameis Winston?
Hey Saints, good job getting Jameis Winston to throw a touchdown pass to the Saints on purpose.
Yep. Hey Saints, good job getting Jameis Winston a perfect passer rating.
Oh yeah, 1 for 1 for 56 and a touchdown, I guess.
Yep, he has 100 QBR and 158.3 passer rating.
Hey. Yeah, who's the best postseason quarterback?
That guy.
So we're building our all-star team. It's Jameis Winston and Cody Parkey.
Doink Master General and 30 for 30 special.
Yeah.
This game started out slow, and then Tampa Bay just kind of
kept going.
Yeah, they just kind of like walked away. They like limped away using a walker at geriatric speed and never looked back. Look, the game was... You can't win football games when you turn over the ball 4 times.
Yeah.
Okay? And that was really the big thing. The Buccaneers didn't do anything special. The Saints just kept giving them short field.
Who's the guy on the Bucs? What's his name? Devin White. Oh my God, that guy's just like a refrigerator with hands.
Yeah.
It's like, these are my interceptions.
Yeah. He large.
I guess he only got one of them, but yeah, I saw the one that he got, and I was like, "Who's gonna stop that guy?" And they're like, "The sideline," and I was like, "That's probably a good call."
That's probably fair. Yeah, just don't even bother. It was Devin White, Mike Edwards, and Sean Murphy Bunting, whoever that guy is. Shout out to that guy. The Saints just kept giving the Buccaneers gifts in short field, and you can't do that against a Tom Brady offense. Tom Brady wasn't spectacular, but they obviously did enough. Still got 2 touchdowns.
Well, it's kind of like the game you had a couple weeks ago, where it's like, if you're just going to keep... Or was it your game or the Miami game? I can't remember which. But it was just like, if you just keep giving us short field position, we don't have to put up big numbers to just keep scoring over and over again.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, look at the 5 turnovers that Pittsburgh gifted us in the wild card game.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah. It's you're not. I don't care how good you are. It's hard to win a game when you turn the ball over 4 times, especially when your quarterback averages 3.9 yards a pass.
That's not good.
Drew Brees, please retire.
He did not throw for a Cam Newton. Got close.
Almost there. Try harder, Drew Brees, or retire,
or
both.
Where's Taysom Hill in all this? Is he injured?
Taysom Hill is certainly a guy that is on that football team.
They just didn't use him?
I don't have an answer for you. I don't know why. I don't know what's going on with him. Let's take a little quickie look. It says he was active. Or he's active now. I don't know if he was active for that game.
Officially out for Sunday Bucks game.
Gotcha. Okay, so he was injured.
Latavius Murray.
He was injured. Bummer. I think they would have had a better shot with Taysom Hill.
Yeah, probably.
Poor guy.
Certainly couldn't have had a worse shot considering how things turned out.
No kidding. And that, like, Alvin Kamara is great.
Yeah.
But he ain't single-handedly bring the team back from a double-digit deficit great.
Probably not.
Yeah. Well, when you keep turning the ball over. And a lot of them, they were just bad passes, man. There was no ass behind them whatsoever. Like there was a tip. One was just underthrown. There was another tip drill, like because he was just putting the ball in bad spots. I don't think Drew Brees ever came back from that injury 100%. Don't blame him. He had a punctured lung and a million broken ribs.
Yeah.
But I think, as tragic as it is, Drew Brees not getting another Super Bowl, I think it's time to hang it up.
Yeah.
It was nice to see these two guys butt heads one last time, but I think it really does just need to be that one last time.
And it kind of sucks for Drew because, I mean, the Saints beat the Bucks both times they met in the regular season, but just couldn't close it out at the end.
Yep, got to protect the football. Number one rule. Throw it to the right jersey.
Yep. All right, I'm ready for some news. Hit me with some news.
Bills Mafia becoming charitable once again. Shortly after the Bills-Ravens game, Bills Mafia collectively at this point have raised $360,000.
That's the last report I saw, yeah.
For Blessings in a Backpack, Louisville chapter. It is a charity that Lamar Jackson supported when he was in college and continues to support. And Bills Mafia, in true Bills Mafia fashion, just as they did for Andy Dalton, decided, you know what, Lamar Jackson, we hate that you got a concussion, so here's almost $400,000 to charity.
Yeah, you notice we didn't do shit for Phillip Rivers.
$8 at a time.
$8 at a time,
yeah.
Which, again, to go back to our hopefully good friend Brandon Perna, hey, if you're a quarterback drafted, maybe pick 19 so that when the Bills donate to your charity, you maximize the value.
Yeah, right. Baker's charity's fucked. He's number 6.
Yeah. Don't get a concussion against the Bills.
Yep.
In an important game.
Yep. So that was, part of it is certainly, like, part of it's kind of trolling, but a lot of that is sincere from the Bills. The Bills Mafia has done this before.
I'll be honest, I don't think any part of it was trolling.
No, there's definitely some people in that fan base that are just like, har, this is funny. But the overwhelming majority of that fan base, obviously showing genuine support for the charity, just as they did with Andy Dalton. When Andy Dalton basically got the Bills into the playoffs, they donated $1 bajillion fucking dollars to Andy Dalton's charity.
Yep.
The charity is very thankful. Lamar Jackson has already responded saying he loves the Bills Mafia. He's very thankful. Just a really cool thing. Really cool thing to come out of the Baltimore Ravens loss.
And this is the kind of shit where it's like, yes, the Bills have the best fans. Fuck you. You're just If you say anything else, you're just wrong. I know
100%.
every team's gonna say that their fan base is the best fan base. Mm-hmm. You cannot touch us.
Well, after Josh Allen's grandma passed away, they raised like $1 million for the O'Shea Children's Hospital.
They've raised over $1 million at this point and are building like an entire new wing for the hospital.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So yeah, the Bills Mafia, great fans, total psychopaths, and I love
yes. them. You'll notice we spend on healthcare and supplies that we could potentially light on fire at some point.
Hell yeah.
You can light a backpack on fire or wear a backpack while going through a flaming table.
Yes, you can light a children's hospital on fire.
Yeah. Well, that was the healthcare part.
Oh, not the whole hospital?
No, well, no. It's like that one. It's like the Batman scene where tries to hit the button and it just and then it goes off.
Okay, all right. Yeah. So if the hospital explodes if the O'Shea Children's Hospital explodes, we know who did it. It was the Joker. Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Patrick Mahomes.
It was Stevie Johnson.
Yeah, Stevie Johnson.
Why so serious?
Yeah. Like we mentioned earlier, Patrick Mahomes still technically in concussion protocol.
Yep.
He took a couple of snaps. He's allowed to take snaps and run non-contact drills. Andy Reid told reporters that he looks good on a limited basis. Right now, we still don't have a time frame. They claim that he is symptom-free and that he's going through the final tolerance tests, and they're going to slowly increase his workload up until, and he can be cleared on Saturday to play Sunday.
Yeah, concussion protocol's got 5 stages to it. Most estimates put him at stage 3 at this point.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, if he's doing non-contact drills and football workouts, he's probably stage 3, about to enter stage 4 if everything looks good. So good luck to recovery for him. I like me some Patrick Mahomes. I would like the Bills to beat a Patrick Mahomes-led Chiefs, so there's no asterisk when the Bills win the Super Bowl.
Well, it'll also be the thing where, like, the ghost of trading the pick that became Patrick Mahomes will be banished if we beat him and go to the Super Bowl.
Gotcha.
It's like that ever-lingering specter, because I think Sean McDermott, I didn't watch the video, I really should have, but Sean McDermott apparently, put some comments out about trading that pick away and the fact that it became Patrick Mahomes and, what all that's led to.
Gotcha.
But I also still sincerely think Patrick Mahomes would not be Patrick Mahomes if he was in Buffalo and not Kansas City. Or at least or at least he wouldn't be until this year, because Josh Allen was not Josh Allen until this year. Granted, he fixed a lot of his mechanics, but we fully built a team around him now.
Yeah, Patrick Mahomes had the advantage of a year behind Alex Smith, who is a good quarterback, and Andy Reid, who is one of the best offensive coaches the game has seen in recent history.
And having Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce to throw to.
Yeah, already having that team around him, just walking into it,
Which is really going to, that's my big question on Kansas City's, sustainability is... Mm-hmm. Eventually, they're going to have to start paying Patrick Mahomes. Even after this year, this is his 4th year. He's either got a huge 5th-year contract, or he goes straight into the 10-year extension, and I'm not sure which one it is. But, eventually they're going to start running out of room. Now, we're going to have the same problem with Josh in a couple years.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah. His 10-year deal picks up next year.
Yeah. So, what's he making next year? $44 million or something?
Something like that. Yeah, because he's signed to 2031.
Gotcha. Yeah.
And
which is so ridiculous to think about in football.
And so something around 45 a year.
Yeah.
With incentive, and a lot of that money is guaranteed. So.
Yeah.
Something you already briefly touched on, Mark Ingram was cut by the Ravens. Nothing but respect between Mark Ingram and the organization. It was a cap casualty / production thing. He wasn't very productive this year, and you got to...
J.K. Dobbins was.
Yeah, J.K. Dobbins turned out to be a really good... Hey, what do you know? Good value at running back in the draft without using a top 5 pick. Figure it out. Michael Thomas is likely to have multiple surgeries on his ankle.
Ooh.
So he has a torn deltoid and other injured ligaments in his ankle. Basically the same injuries that's been fucking with him all season. The high ankle sprain basically evolved into something that he's going to have surgery on. So just wanted to briefly touch on that. But then the big thing, we talked about him earlier. Motherfudgin' Phillip Rivers.
Dag nabbin.
Is daggum retiring. Dang it.
Josh Allen fucking retired your ass.
Yeah, Josh Allen.
Take that shit.
Philly Rivs. One of my favorite quarterbacks to watch play because he throws weird and talks shit. 17 years in the NFL. The majority.
He talks crud.
Yeah, he talks trash. 16 of those years were with the Chargers, 1 with the Colts. Plenty of playoff berths, good teams around him, could never get it done to the Super Bowl. Begs the question, where does he rank on the list of greatest quarterbacks of all time, despite not having Super Bowl rings?
Oh, clearly he's worse than Carson Wentz, who's a first ballot Hall of Famer.
Sure. Okay.
Who's got a ring?
That's a take.
It's a bad one. It's one you shouldn't listen to.
Yeah, I ain't gonna. But in all seriousness, Phillip Rivers, there will never be a man like Phillip Rivers in the NFL for years. Not necessarily because of his talent. He was really good, but just because of the line he rode when talking shit. That dude, like, never used profanity, but that dude was a shit talker, and he was fun to watch football. He'd sling that motherfucker all over the place. He was very much of the Brett Favre era of just send it and see what happens.
Yep.
For better or for worse.
Send it.
Yep. So good luck to Phillip Rivers in retirement. I'll forever miss you on Gridiron Heights. Hopefully, hopefully you make some cameos. Dagnabbit. Dadgummit.
I'm sure he'll be in at least one more episode because they'll need to do like a retirement episode for him.
Mm-hmm.
Just be like, let's Frasm.
Horse.
He's like literally
poopy.
He's like literally a Looney Tunes character.
Yes, he is. Also, Phillip Rivers, stop having so many fucking kids. You're retired. Relax.
No, have more kids now.
Okay, yeah, have more kids.
He's got time.
Yeah, he's only 39.
Oh.
The boys are still swimming, I think.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'll ask him.
No, I mean, like, he's not as busy as he was. He's got time.
Oh, yeah, he start pumping them bitches out now. One a year, baby.
Please. Blue Moon babies. Get two in the same year. I don't think that quite works. But if you have one right at the beginning from the previous year, and then you... Is he Irish?
I don't know.
Oh, well.
We'll find out. I'll ask him. Me and Phil Rivers are tight.
Where's Phillip Rivers from?
The fucking middle of nowhere, the way he talks.
God. Of course you've got a kid named Gunner.
Yeah, bro.
Decatur, Alabama. That'd do it.
Makes sense.
Not even the first Decatur I think of.
Yep. Went to good old NC State. Probably the best quarterback to come out of NC State in the Super Bowl era.
Not Russell Wilson, who's won a Super Bowl?
Nah, numbers-wise.
There's also the debate of did Russell Wilson come out of NC State or not?
Yeah.
But yeah.
One more quick story for the road, or
yeah, no, go for it.
You got an anecdote of Phillip Rivers?
No, I no.
All right, quick story. Shad Khan, owner of the Jacksonville Jaguars, entices Urban Meyer out of retirement with a fuck ton of money to come coach at the professional level. Urban Meyer, for people that don't know, was the longtime head coach of Ohio State. Had like 1 million national championships with him. Urban Meyer teams in Ohio State were notorious for being basically a pro football player factory in certain positions. As long as he has been a coach, he has never once coached at the professional level. And we normally don't see this kind of transition so late in someone's career for their first head coaching job. You know, you got guys like, Sean McVay, Kevin Stefanski, stuff like that. Younger dudes come out of the college system, pick up a coordinator job for a little bit, or you got like Cliff Kingsbury, who's young, and they just really wanted that concept for Kyler Murray.
Yeah.
Urban Meyer's more of a traditional coach's coach. He's kind of old school, but he's made some good football teams in Ohio State. And at the end of the day, money talks.
Yeah.
I have no idea how successful he's going to be as a professional coach. But I like Ohio State. I like Urban Meyer. So I hope he does well. And welcome back to coaching, Urban Meyer.
He
can no longer be Ohio's highest paid state employee.
Is that Joey? Did Joey Bosa go to Ohio State?
Joey Bosa went to Ohio State.
Okay, so his last his Twitter profile is still winning the national championship with Joey Bosa and Zeke. It looks like in the picture.
Gotcha.
So he needs to update that shit.
Yeah, just a little bit. You gotta put some. Whoever the fucking who plays quarterback there now. I don't know. Somebody.
Ohio State or Jacksonville?
Yes.
Because Jacksonville, for all we know, it might be Deshaun Watson.
Could be. That's kind of a big topic.
Did we talk about Deshaun Watson at all?
We haven't talked
last
about
couple of
it
weeks.
Yet. Right now, it's a bunch of rumors, but Deshaun Watson wants out.
Yeah.
And I didn't even have to start a GoFundMe.
Question is to where?
Patriots.
We could talk a couple more coaching things. Robert Saleh's got the Jets job now.
Yes.
Somebody got named to the Chargers job. I don't know who.
Mm-hmm.
But the only real reason I want to talk about it is somehow Eric Bieniemy continues to not get a coaching job, but also it's seeming like at the very least Brian Daboll and hopefully also Leslie Frazier are sticking around in Buffalo to 2021.
Hey,
so keep the gang together. I think if we lose Leslie Frazier, that would be less of a hit, which is weird because Leslie Frazier's like also co-head coach or like assistant head coach, while also being our defensive coordinator.
Right.
But Sean McDermott is a defensively minded and has been a DC for years and years. So if we lose Frazier, we've still got like all the concepts and everything. Whereas if we lose Daboll, who knows what the fuck happens to our offense that is just now really coming together.
It's definitely something to be concerned about.
But apparently he's sticking around for at least one more year, so I ain't got to worry about that for a bit.
There you go.
So,
yeah, I think Bieniemy will get his chance at some point. I'm curious whether or not they're looking at it from the perspective of how much of the Kansas City's success on offense actually has to do with him and how much it has to do with Andy Reid. Because Andy Reid is a play-calling head coach.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I've heard it reported that Bieniemy is handling most of the play calling, so, I mean, I don't... Yeah. As good as the Chiefs are, I don't pay that close of attention to them.
Hey, somebody hire Alex Van Pelt. Evidently, he's really good at calling offensive plays.
Apparently, yeah.
Don't do that. I like him.
That or they wired him up like he was a Houston Astros player and was just like, all right, if you feel three buzzes,
if you got three pulses, you're gonna yeah.
It's just Stefanski sitting in the basement with a buzzer the whole time.
Yep.
All right, have we got anything else?
I am out of shit to talk about.
All right, so am I. I don't really.
This is gonna be a short episode.
I don't know how long it's been. How long has it been?
An hour 42 minutes.
Holy shit! So this will be an hour and a half.
Yeah.
I guess I was wrong. It's happened before.
It'll happen again too.
Except for the Bills going all the way this time.
Yeah, you keep putting that energy out there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you got to put it out there. You got to make the universe know.
Yeah.
That the Bills are going to the Super Bowl.
It's
Bro,
the secret.
When's the Super Bowl this year?
I want to say like
date?
February 6th or something.
I think I took the weekend off. I can't be sure.
Oh no, that's a Saturday, so it'd be the 7th. Right, because if we're playing this weekend, and then there's a week off for the quote-unquote Pro Bowl, which doesn't exist, then yeah, it'd be the 7th.
Yeah. Okay. So I am off that weekend, but I work that Monday. But if the Bills make it to the Super Bowl, like, we're watching that game.
Yeah.
In person.
Oh, okay. You're gonna make me drive 2 hours again, and then
almost get COVID and tell you to fuck off?
Yeah.
Yeah, probably.
Unless I'm up in Baltimore by that point, and then that's gonna complicate things.
And we'll just do this.
Yeah, this works. Worst case scenario.
Yeah, worst case scenario. Wrap it up.
All right. This has been the Fourth and Rower podcast for January the 20th, 2021. Thanks for watching and listening. Say goodbye, Keith.
Bye, Keith. Hearts. Look at that disrespect.
Make me do this again.
Look at that trap. Look at that. That's an angry ass trap. I don't got traps.
Look at this man.
Swole. Ow, that hurt my arm.
See, normally I walk around and I feel like my beard looks fine, and then I get into recording and I'm like, this shit looks ratchet as fuck.
Yeah, it looks shaggy as shit.
I mean, it is.
Bah.
Matt.
I can put my beard in my mouth.
I can't quite do that. I can do this. This is a good look. I think I'm almost to mustache twist.
Twist everything.
That's when Keith started playing in Anthrax.
Nah, I got too much hair for that.
I don't know how that's gonna look at the end.